a volunteer that went up with me to help me lift the post out because I
think we just escorted the place, didn't we?
The police just turned up. They were just patrolling.
I think he said they escorted first to West Yorkshire. That's what Sean said as well. I said, I'm not bothered as long as they're out of there.
Nathan, did you have
I was just saying, so just clarification really, so we're just proposing that Gemma can go away and investigate. Yeah. Cool.
I would need some direction.
Yeah, I'll just say I had a look, because to me, and there is a cost which I'll tell you in a moment, the main thing that we could do to prevent it would be some height barriers, which there is at Ackworth at the moment. I think we did talk about it before. So I had a look just to see roughly what it would be for a and it was a company in Pontefract, not pushing these things.
I'm just in your throat, that's just my throat.
Might be the same people. I found there was a company on the top shelf industrial estate in Pontefract that would supply and fit one. So Sean and I went because somebody held the other end of the tape measure. The main entrance into the car park is just 6 metres wide. The one that they used at the other side is just over 4 metres wide. And this company, GMC, they've done one at Dorothy Hyman Centre in Cardiff that is 6 metres, 2.1 metres high, and that's 3,550 supplied and fitted for that.
Is that
Plus that, but yeah.
Is that something that opens so that when it's a garden?
Yeah, so it's got its lockable,
yeah.
So you can open it,
yeah.
so you can let tall things in. But he recommended, I found him online and I just gave him a quick call and he said that one they did 2.1 metres because it lets nearly any van in, but it doesn't let things like caravans in.
I was just going to say, I think my concern isn't just about that bit of it, because if they're prepared to put locks, that hedge you can push away.
Yeah.
Hedge, it was hedge all the way down.
That was one part. Yeah.
A good idea for Stephen and Andy spoke about himself. With the edges, get some nice big stone put in place or something to stop them. But the access at the top, while the travellers were on the field, they come to maintain, I think, the playground, and they just took the posts out top and drove straight across the top. But when
Because the maintenance bit.
so that needs some concrete posts put back in as well.
I don't think I understand that. Sorry.
Yeah, where the footpath is, sort of if you go from here, at this end of it, before the shipping container, there's 2 concrete posts, and then there's a wooden one that's very loose in the ground. So it looks like you could very easily lift that out, and it kind of needs, and then there's a metal signpost. But I think Sean and I had a look, and we feel it's probably worth 2 more of the concrete posts there to stop that.
Chair, do you mind?
Yeah, no, carry on, no.
I think one of my concerns being operational and obviously not part of the council decision is that there are weaknesses across the village as well, and given the fact of the experience that I had last time, I am concerned that if they were to get on again, it might not be 4 or 5 days that we get them off in. I also think that there's like you said, a lot of different options, even as simple as, is it called bunding when it's on a hump that you can't get?
Yeah.
There's things like that we can do.
Yeah.
So I do think, Chair, that this is one that probably needs a really thorough,
I think,
whether that be a few elected councillors, whether it be delegates to village amenities, but it does need councillors that are going out and viewing all the different sides.
No, I think so. I would agree, and I think there's a few there, and there are others, but we've got to do it fairly quickly if we can. I don't know, because how much would it cost us in terms of staff time?
That is the cost of staff time.
Even if it wasn't additional staff time, with staff not doing what they should be doing.
Imagine if they come back and it's the gala.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
The other consideration, Chair, is budget. At the moment for Carbridge, we only have 750 for repairs and maintenance and 750 additional grounds maintenance. We've got a total of 1,500 budgeted for general maintenance, so we'd have to do it as a general reserve possibly.
No, I appreciate that. Susie?
We've allocated money to silverling to the quarries, but we can do absolutely nothing with that at the present time. Is it possible to draw that money back and use that for this?
Yeah, if you can.
It's only in an earmarked reserve set by council, so it's not in any locked bank account, it's just on our financial system, we've authorised that it's earmarked. If council decide when we do year end and we do the earmark reviews next month to move that, then absolutely you can move any earmark.
And would security barriers or whatever be appropriate for self-funding?
It's not still funding that one, so that is an earmarked reserve.
Right.
The one that I'm on about, the £14,000 running costs.
Yeah.
Maybe we're talking about two different things. That's the earmarked reserve that could be used. It's council money, it's not seal money. The seal money is something separate. I can't remember the figure now when it was split through ways. That's a separate seal money. We've got 14,000 in earmarked reserve for the first year of running costs that we've kept.
Right. Oh, okay. So potentially there is some funding. Ian?
Yeah, I just wonder if it's worth having a proposal to get a security consultant or someone in to do a tour of the village and just do a vulnerability report for us and just give you an idea about where our vulnerabilities are before we make any decisions.
I think one of the main ones is Carbridge because that's a good source of income for the village. And if we get upset feelings with that,
It's
it's not
useful.
going and then it makes that feel not worth having.
It stops
I
that.
think it's really important. That's the main one.
Get something
Yes,
proposed,
so
don't we?
so,
So,
as chair,
yeah.
we just need to bear in mind that's a big discussion, but the agenda item is to receive a proposal to investigate feasibility. So
we
we
can
have to do something with that proposal,
Yeah.
whether it be
How do we investigate
amend,
that feasibility?
yeah, just to bring it back to the agenda item.
Yeah, okay. Can we defer it to set up a working group to look into it? Would that be appropriate, or do we need to try and do some I don't really want to put another to a meeting, it's Amanda.
It's split into two bits, so we give authorised Gemma to go and start getting quotes from a security consultants, look specifically at Carbridge, and then we pass to amenities to do a review of all the other additional fields that we've got.
Although I love that because it's speedy. No. Because you can only amend. If you can find a very simple amendment that doesn't change the meaning of that proposal, yes, but I feel that it would change the meaning of the proposal to instruct me to go to a third party company. Your best bet is probably to send it to amenities who then can, and in the background I might, just happen to stumble across and find some information.
Susie?
I was wondering if we could be a bit more proactive, and we proposed that we investigated the feasibility of installing the barrier and the stone blocks in the gap, the gate and the hedge, and get quotes and get on with it.
Yeah.
Because we don't want, as you said, we've got in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
So we're investigating some solutions. And
So you could give me a list of instructions to investigate to bring back to July.
well, I think the other alternative to height restrictions is those lift-up posts
Yeah.
that sink into the ground.
Or you could, to make it easier, you could delegate authority to investigate, to bring
yeah.
back all the things you've just said. But
Yeah.
under-
I think that's probably a good solution, isn't it? But, yeah.
Otherwise, I
Because
guess
that fits
stuck
well.
into
That
a
fits
box.
within what we've got there, doesn't it? To say
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So
So,
a proposal to delegate to Gemma to investigate security solutions for Carbridge, and note that we need to look at other sites later.
I second that.
Yeah. I'll propose that, and then Sean second it. Then
yeah, okay.
if that's
Let me just make sure that works. Sorry. Honestly, I get so tied up in the
Yeah.
process. So actually, Chair, the easiest and simple way would be if someone proposes an amend to remove the word parish council and change it to the clerk.
yeah.
And if Caroline is accepting of that, it doesn't have to go through the full process, and then
Yeah,
it can just
okay.
go to the normal first and second. So it would be
I'll
an amend
propose that we amend that.
to clerk rather than
Yeah.
parish council.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. And do you want to second that, Carol?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it can just go a normal
Right.
vote now.
Okay. So given that amendment, we votes in favour of that? And that's everyone.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. It took us a long time, but I think that was a worthwhile discussion. Wasn't it?
Sort of meant to be
Are we in a position to put in a complaint about, please?
I probably should have put it on this agenda actually to have that instruction.
Yeah.
So what I will do is I'll add it to FMGP
Yeah.
so that the committee can review what the complaint is.
It's not quite responsive complaints procedure when you
Mhm.
look into them properly.
Yeah.
So I do think it would address them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I
So
take that
that's
away
very good.
outside of this meeting and run
Yeah.
it through
Yeah,
the
I think
meetings
that's
for
a-
instruction?
A good point, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and so 33.3, to receive a proposal from Councillor Maiden for the Parish Council to organise an art competition with 5 schools in Ackworth. And we've got the proposal from Sharon in the pack. Sharon, do you want to say?
Yeah, it should be a bit quicker than
I'm happier.
This goes back to the proposal that I made back in October, I think, about community liaison and working with
Yeah.
schools and young people in the village. Emma and I have had lots of meetings up to this point actually, and met with the schools and had emails, discussion with the schools. So the plan was always to have some sort of project, competition, whatever, running
Yeah.
with them. We've suddenly realised that actually time's really ticking on
Yeah.
and in the blink of an eye it's going to be the end of term. We were quite restricted with what we could do before SATS because the schools weren't interested
Yeah.
before May because obviously
Mm,
PCH2 SAT's really important for the children. So we talked about lots of things that we could do on the back of suggestions that the schools had actually given to us.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we talked about was an art competition as a starting point. There was going to be very little cost for ourselves. The only thing we would have to fund were prizes for children, and that the winning pieces of artwork we could then display in the parish rooms.
Mm.
So Emma knows about this. We've had discussion about it, but we thought the quickest way to do it is for it to come here rather than be got to go to a committee to then come back again. Because we needed to get it to the schools as soon as possible, because they haven't got a lot of weeks left really. So that's the proposal basically, with 2 winners from each school, 10 prizes in total. Closing date for entry is the 18th of July. Open to all councillors to judge the artwork, get lots of photographs, stuff on the website, all of that. It's really good PR for the schools, get the children involved.
Really good.
And that's it basically. We've also got plans then moving forward for next year, more long term. You know, I think Emma's got some bigger plans, but we said we needed to start actually with something that was really quick, dead easy. Hopefully children would be interested in doing, and it'll give us a bit of a benchmark as to how much they want to contribute to the village.
Good idea
Basically.
today, certainly, thank you.
Our second proposal.
Yeah, great. Discussion?
Just a quick question. Have we thought about linking this to the gala next year so they can display their art at the
We
gala?
talked about that, yeah, but the second was just too short
Yeah,
notice this
yeah.
year. We also talked about the schools having, we included the scarecrow thing in that because we thought that would be great, you know, display scarecrows, but yeah. So the idea is that we have a tent next year where the schools bring something along that's a collective. It doesn't involve a lot of work, because, and that's the reason why they said to us, we haven't got capacity to install or whatever, we just haven't got time. So we thought if we could try and condense it in some way. We even talked about using the church and having a big art exhibition at church. It started to get really big, so we just thought, right, we started small, but the gala came into the discussion absolutely.
Great. That was a great idea. So we go for a vote. Those in favour? That is everyone. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, so item 34, to consider for approval that the press and public be excluded from the remainder of the meeting on the grounds that the publicity would be prejudicial to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted on the following agenda items. So can I have a show of hands for excluding members of the public in this one, which is to look at the supplier for the mobile phone contract primarily. Abstentions? One abstention. Sorry.